my friends, today is the day where I should share with you some new recipe, which is not new recipe, but it could be new for you. This is pelmeni. In Ukraine, that's what we call pelmeni. Pelmeni, I would say, even pelmeni in Russian. Now, for English people, it's hard to pronounce this word, so I would say you can definitely say ravioli. That would be kind of the same thing. I try many different recipes, and this is the best recipe that I like, and I cook at home all the time. My family love it, and I think you should try it as well. So at the same time, we will test it out with your product that I recently purchased from the website DIYDIGITALART. Yes, it sounds crafty, but trust me, there is a much more of that than just craft. And by the way, you can follow me on YouTube channel Lovecraft Forever. I recently did video unboxing from that website, and today we will actually use some of the product to create my pelmeni. So sit down comfortable, grab something yummy to drink, and let's get started. Here's what we will need for our dough. I have in here 1 egg. I have in here teaspoon of salt and teaspoon of sugar. I can put this right now right away. I have my mixer in here, so I can put here teaspoon of each, sugar and salt. Let's just crack this egg in here. And excuse please my puppy running around. So first I will crack in here just to make sure I don't have any shell to fall into my dish. We put in here 1 egg. Now in this cup in here I have 1 cup of milk and a half cup of water. Make sure it's a little bit like a room temperature. If you have, like my milk stay in the fridge, I usually put like for 20-30 seconds in the microwave to warm up a little bit. That way it's better and mixing better. We'll put everything in here. In here I have 4 cups of all-purpose flour, and I already sifted. Now, not always I need 4 cups. Usually I put in here maybe like 3.5. I just leave it for a little bit. Okay, hopefully we don't get this on camera. Let's just put as much as okay, let's leave it maybe like 1, maybe a little bit less. And this one I will put right now into the mixer and mix. If it's get very sticky still, I will add flour as needed. So I will go and mix this, and we'll be right back. I added the rest of the flour because I feel like it wasn't enough. Sometimes could be, you know, tablespoon extra water or milk will make a difference. So I'm just making it very slowly right now so the flour doesn't poof out, you know, all over your kitchen. Let's speed up a little bit now. Feels like it's out of the focus a little bit, you know. I mix my dough for about 2-3 minutes. It's supposed to be kind of feel rubbery, but if you mix a lot, you will get that kind of soft consistency, but that's what we have. Consistency just like this. So I put in the same bowl where I usually keep my flour. That way it's not going to stick to my bowl. I'm just gonna rub it like this in the flour. So of course when we will make pelmeni itself, we will need some extra flour. For now I will cover this with the plastic wrap. So like this, and put this aside, and we will prepare meat that we can put on the inside to make them scrumptiously delicious. So now it's the part that usually I don't have exact recipe for you. Like I have ingredients, but I never measure. I do as I like for my taste, and not try to overpower with any spices, because everybody can add something to the personal plate as they eat, you know. For example, my husband maybe like a little bit more salty than I do, so I just a little bit. So in here I have ground pork. I have here quite a little bit. This is more than enough for the portion that we have a dough, but I will be making a lot to freeze for later, so I will be adding a little bit more later, like to make more. So now I will add in here also 1 egg. And usually the white part in an egg I try to take away. I do not like this part in an egg, so I'm trying to kind of squeeze with the shelf to get the thing out. In this dish I have already shredded my onions in here, and here is a little bit of garlic, so I just put them in one plate. And I did this after camera because the onions are so strong. Trust me, I'm crying like a crocodile, so I do this after camera so I don't have to tear up in here while I do video. Okay, so onion and garlic, a few pieces of garlic. Like my onions, I will show you here. This is big onions, okay? This is big onions. So I shredded maybe like less than half, let's just say that. Okay, so now we will need some salt and pepper. So same thing, just it doesn't come out very hard in here, but not too fast. So we will add a little bit just for the taste to kind of cover a little bit. Maybe like a half of the teaspoon right now in here, and salt will come out a little bit faster, so I have to be careful. Okay, and that's it. Now we mix all to the smooth consistency, incorporate all ingredients together, and we are ready to unroll our dough. Now I will show you a few of the fun pieces that I recently purchased online from DIY Digital Art, and I did the unboxing on my craft channel, Love Craft Forever, and there was an unboxing of kitchen item that I kind of unboxed on that channel, but I will show you because one of these items that I purchased up there, that is a pelmeni maker. So we will use and test it out today because my personal that I have at home is aluminum, and the one I purchased recently it's plastic, hard plastic. So I would love to see if this will work better. So I'm just gonna mix a few more minutes so it's like all mush and not chunky, just so my egg and all the spices get together. Now don't worry if this is not enough, maybe salt right now or pepper, because remember we still have a dough that has a salt in it, and also we will boil them in a salty water. So don't overpower salt right now, better to put later when you serve it. And also we will have a butter, so you can use salty butter, so you don't need too much salt in here at all. Alright, I will put this aside right now and prepare my tools to work with. So here's what we will do next and what we need. This is the product that recently I did video review on my craft channel. Product from DIY Digital Art. This awesome mat, silicone mat, that it's such a beautiful size, biggest that I have so far in my possession at home, and I love it. That's non-sticky, so we will be rolling our dough in here, and hopefully this will prove to be the best mat. And I can see already there is nothing sticking to it. Of course, if we have to use, we will use some flour, and I already put it on a sifter, so I will be sifting flour. Also, this is the main tool that also I did video review, and now we will put to the test and see if we can create our shaped pelmeni or ravioli, you would say. Also, I will use this little tiny spoon that also came from same website. I will link it up for you if you like it. Catherine loved to use this for everything she eat at home. Very tiny, and I will be using for my meat. Okay, and then of course I already prepared in here on the side extra silicone mats. Already I put flour in it to prepare for my end result. And of course we need a roller. This is the heavy duty roller I really like. I think I purchased in Winners maybe. Very, very heavy, but wonderful work with the dough. It's not sticky. To the wooden one usually it sticks, to this one is much better to use. So what we need now, I will put this tool aside a little bit, and it says in here, right here, don't cut this knife in here, but I need to cut 2 pieces. Basically you can really just like squeeze and take apart, but I will cut on the air so I don't cut my mat. At this point I don't know exactly how big I need, so this one I will put back into my dish for now in here and cover so it stays not dry till I need another piece, because I will need 2 for one batch to show you how I do it. So we will keep this cover, and at the same time it will cover from anything flying on the air, because with pets in a house it could be hassle. Okay, all right, so we will need some flour in here to start with. I don't think I need this much for now, but all right, let's get started and see how this will work. Usually pelmeni dough is really resistant, and that's why sometimes I just work with my hands instead of any tools, because you roll and roll and roll and feel like it keeps shrinking back, you know. And hopefully I don't shake too much table for the camera. It's not very easy dough to work with, but we will get there. We will get there. It needs to be very, very thin. That's the main focus. We don't want lots of chewy dough. We want to be dough very thin. Sometimes to make it a little bit faster, if you can just like stretch even a little bit. But as you can see, as soon as I stretch, it's bounced back. That's the dough. It's not easy to work with, but delicious to eat. So we will have to work harder to get to the point that we need. Even like this, from center to the edges. It doesn't matter that it's not very straight at this point, okay? All I need this to be big enough to cover. And by the way, before we do that, do not forget, let me just sift the flour a little bit. And basically I can sift just on the top. We need to put flour so it's all coated, because this is never used before. Okay, we have a flour all over that. And now we will put our dough on the top like this. Okay. And then we need to make one more of this. So for now I'm just gonna put on my another silicone board till we prepare one more piece right now. Not to cut mat. Okay. Of course, it's your preference if you wanna work with your with the silicone, like a gloves, to put on gloves if you want to work with it. But you know what, I wash my hands very well. This is just for my family and we are okay for me to use my hands. Okay, I think this will be good enough for now. I'm just gonna leave it as it is, put a little bit to the side. All right, and we will bring back this piece. Now when you press a little bit like this on, you can even do a little bit slightly, not too hard, okay? So we don't want to cut dough, but you will see that hopefully you can see the squares, this shape appear, and that's where our hole, that's what we need to find, that hole. And then we will put some meat into it with very tiny spoon. Let's see how much it's going to fit in it. So it's a very little bit. It's like, you know, little tiny ball, just like this, to show you in my fingers how much is it. And this sometimes could be even too much, but let's try it. This is a little bit bigger holes that I have in my metal one that I brought a long time ago back from home, but I feel like this one will work better. The aluminum form that I have, I do not use because I did not like it. So hopefully, I'm really hope that this will work great, and then I can create my pelmeni much faster. Maybe even this kind of job my little girl can do when she gets from school, and we can work with her together on it. All right, so we will fill in this cavity of the honeycomb shape, just like that, a little bit. Doesn't have to be lots of meat. It's tasty, they were the little one. So in this point, when you create like this, and the end result when you press them will be look like from the store-bought, right? So sometimes it's good to roll them in your hands, and that's how you see that this is handmade and not like store-bought, because you shape them special. And I can show you how I shape them later on if you don't have this kind of form, but you want to try a recipe. I can show you how I did before that with just my fingers and knife. Okay, we're almost done. I think it's 3 more in here. It looks a lot because the dough keep bouncing up, so it feels like it's lots of meat, but it's really not. It's like a half of the teaspoon probably. All right, so at this point I have them all filled, and I'm just gonna push right now them a little bit more deeper into my form like this. Go ahead. And then now I need to roll a little bit more, because now my dough shrink again back. That's the only problem with this dough. It's very bouncy, and we want to have thin, very thin. It's a very stretchy dough. Okay, ready? Now we are going to cover on the top, just like that. Make sure everything is covered. Press a little bit with your hands to make sure the meat go inside of those cavities. And now, if you are ready, we are going to roll, and hopefully it's work, okay? Hopefully it's work. Now we want to press hard to get our dough cut away. Okay, you see that? You see what's happening? It's separating from the big. Okay, now this is our extra dough that we will be rolling again. But for now, I have to cut so they all cut in here on the middle. So really have to push, and hopefully it will work. It feels like outside edges a little bit higher than inside, to be honest. Now we can sprinkle a little bit more so they are not sticky with the flour, and keep rolling. Okay, now are you ready for the magic? Are you ready for magic? Now we are going to flip them, and this is how it looks like from another side. Cute, right? And now they actually fallen out. Now just a tap, just like that. Or you can slightly even push. If some of this stick to the plastic, maybe I didn't put enough. I should put more flour on my bottom dough, but literally you can just push it like that, okay? Or tap it harder if you have like a board. I don't want to damage my silicone mat. But here's what we have. Now I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit with the flour to mix them so they are not sticky. Now this is what you don't want to have, this little edges that's open. It means the dough didn't stick very well together. You just pinch them with your fingers. So I don't know at this point how it's working good or not, but literally that's what you have, kind of like a ready product. You can put them right now in a boiling water till it's floating. It's about like 5-7 minutes. When you put them on the water, boiling water with a little bit salt, and we can try this definitely a little bit later how to boil. I will create lots of them, and I will cook them when Catherine gets home so she can tell you how tasty that is. And that's what we have. This is cute little shape like this. So I have to say this one tool works much better than mine that I have. I see a little bit stuck in here dough very slightly because I just have to put more flour in here, sprinkle, and not to let out any. It's okay to cover this with the flour. It's mean the dough not gonna stick to it, but you're not gonna get too much flour on the inside because you put meat and then another piece of dough spread it on the top. And this is what we have. So now I'm gonna put them away. I can freeze some. You definitely can freeze, but before we go, I want to show you another way how I do it. So let me put these pieces on my mat that I already prepared. Just a minute. I will just put them on the side so it's not on my way. On my mat that I prepare with flour. And I want to show you one more how you can do if you don't have a tool. Okay, let's just grab with this dough that we just was rolling. Okay, so now it's all combined together again. I roll like this, or in my hands, just like that. Okay, and then I have little tiny roller similar to the one that I use for my diamond painting, if you are following me on a crafty channel. And then I would cut little pieces. Now again, I'm gonna cut another mat because on this one I'm not supposed to cut. Okay, so let's just say here I cut 2 of them, right? This kind of size. And then I would use flour to kind of dip them on each side because it's sticky when you cut them. And then each individual I would roll with my mini roller, which is very comfortable for that. Just like that. This one probably I even make too big. Just like that. Okay, this is what we have. Now we're going to put our meat inside. Okay. Fold in half. It's like you would do pierogi. You pinch edges to make sure dough stick together and not open. Okay, now we have kind of shape of pierogi. Now we grab 2 ends, put 1 finger in here in the middle and kind of like a roller on the middle and pinch 2 ends together. And that's the shape when you're making pelmeni homemade. And that's what you never can mistake for the store-bought. That's how we make it at home all our lives, just the hands. And this is cute too, and kind of, you know, cute shape. That's it. Now I will make them a lot, and when it's time to boil and cook them, I will get back to you and we will see how they look like on the end when it's cooked. Let me make one more time, since I already cut this very tiny little bit. Just make sure meat go right inside, not at the edges, so the dough will still be sticky. Pinch, 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 and pinch 2 ends together. That's it. That's it. I will use just a little portion right now. So the water is about to boil, and I need to put a little bit pinch of the salt to the water for the better taste. Always when you cook any pasta, you have to put a little bit of salt. And then we are going to put our pelmeni into the boiling water. I should grab the bigger pot, to be honestly, but that's okay. You have to keep an eye on it so it doesn't usually pasta have this, you know, it can run away from you. So you have to watch it. You have to watch it so it doesn't run away from you. And right away you need to mix a little bit, because if it sinks to the bottom it can stick right away. So you kind of give this little stir it up so it doesn't stick to the bottom. And now basically soon as they rise to the top, they will be ready to eat. And I will, when it's boiled too much, we can lower heat a little bit, but they do have to boil. Since you boil them, the water of course cooling down, but because they are not frozen right now, I already make some portion and put in a freezer for later. But this one is fresh, so they will be ready faster than frozen one. Okay, see they start to rise a little bit to the top. About 5-7 minutes. Well, it's ready. I think we can turn it off water now, because they are cooking for about 5-7 minutes. They are all already floating on the top, and we can take them to our dish. I already pre-melted butter in here. You can put butter as much as you like. or as less as you like. Then more butter than better, of course. We'll put them into the bath, into the butter. There. Okay, and now to finish our delicious recipe, we will sprinkle with black pepper, just a little bit, and we need some vinegar. For those who don't like vinegar, you don't have to use it, but it definitely gives you this extra, it just tastes better. So this is what we have, our delicious, oh, it smells so good. Now Kat is ready to eat. She just got home from school. I hope you will try this recipe, and let me know in the comments below if you like it or not. Alright, I will see you in my next recipe.